Your child with a learning difference got into college, an amazing achievement. But now comes a new set of questions. Can they still get extra time on tests? Will a professor extend a deadline for anxiety? Does the college have to follow their high school 504 plan? The answer to some of these is yes, and to others, a definite no. Let's pull back the curtain on the college disability support system to give you a clear, realistic picture of what to expect for your child. I'm Chelsea Kwan. As a licensed educational psychologist with 17 years of experience in assessment, I'm here to help you navigate this. You're facing a new question now. Will the support your child has relied on for their specific challenges, whether it's dyslexia, ADHD, anxiety, or autism, will that support still be there? In high school, their support plan was a roadmap, but in college, that vanishes. What kind of help can a student with dyslexia really get? What does support for anxiety look like during exam week? I'm going to show you what accommodations colleges actually provide and the critical skills your teen must have to secure them. The first thing to understand is the shift from high school special education supports ensuring success to college accommodations simply ensuring access. This means the responsibility to get help and effectively apply it now rests squarely on your student's shoulders. Here's their new job. First, they must contact the college's Disability Services Office to start the process. Second, they have to provide current comprehensive documentation of their disability. We can provide this for you here at Blueprint Evaluations, where I specialize in psychoeducational assessment and documentation for college accommodations. Our office is in Burbank, California, but I conduct evaluations virtually and can serve students anywhere in the state. Third, your child will attend a meeting to discuss what accommodations are reasonable for them. Finally, every semester, they're responsible for getting their accommodation letters and giving them to each professor. For parents, this is often a shock. Because of federal privacy laws, once your student turns 18 or enrolls in college, the school staff can't and won't talk to you about your child's records, including disability information, without your child's express written consent. That's why it's best for parents to become informed now, before their freshman year starts, so you can help your child understand and advocate for what they're entitled to. So, what can your student actually get? The key phrase is reasonable accommodations that provide access. Here are the most common types. First, testing accommodations. This is the biggest category. Extended time, usually time and a half, is standard and can be crucial for students with ADHD who struggle with focus, or for those with dyslexia who need more time to process written language. A separate, quiet testing room is a vital support for students with anxiety or autism who can be easily distracted in a large lecture hall. Second, classroom support. This might include getting a copy of notes in advance from a professor, which is a game changer for students with dysgraphia who find it difficult to write and listen at the same time, or permission to audio record lectures, which can be invaluable for students who need to hear information multiple times, such as those with auditory processing issues. Universities often have specially licensed note-taking apps that they can grant students access to if they qualify for this accommodation. Third, assistive technology. This is a huge and growing area. Text to speech software that reads textbooks aloud can be a lifeline for a student with dyslexia. Voice typing software helps students with dysgraphia get their thoughts on the page. For a student with dyscalculia, access to a calculator for certain assignments can also be a reasonable accommodation. And fourth, logistical help. Priority registration can be one of the most effective accommodations. For a student with anxiety or ADHD, it allows them to build a schedule that avoids back-to-back classes. It can help create a routine that minimizes stress. Knowing what not to expect is just as important. First, the curriculum will not be modified. Colleges see this as changing core academic standards, which they're not required to do. Don't expect a reduction in workload. Even if a student has ADHD, the college is likely not to cut the number of required assignments. A student with a learning disability is graded on the exact same standard as every other student. Don't bank on automatic deadline extensions. While a professor might grant one occasionally, a blanket flexible deadlines policy as a formal accommodation is rare. And definitely don't expect the course requirements to be changed. A student with dyscalculia, for example, will still have to pass a required math class. The goal is to access the same experience, not a different one. Having the right paperwork is everything. A prior IEP, 504 plan, or a doctor's letter is a good starting point to show a history of support, but it's almost never enough for college. Colleges want a current, comprehensive psychoeducational report from a qualified professional, like a licensed educational psychologist or a neuropsychologist. This report is the cornerstone of my work. My practice, Blueprint Evaluations, is an educational psychology practice in California that specializes in these types of evaluations for college accommodations. Since we conduct all our services remotely, we can help families anywhere. This report needs to clearly state the diagnosis, describe how the disability currently impacts the student in an academic setting, which is illustrated through the scores derived from psychoeducational testing, and include a rationale that explains why specific accommodations are needed. The best advice during your child's junior year, look at the Disability Services website for a few colleges to see exactly what they require. Don't wait until the summer before freshman year. Now that you know what's available, you can act as a consultant for your teen by helping them to see what's possible and how they can ensure it. Instead of calling the Disability Services office yourself, help your student write a script for the call and practice it with them. Instead of emailing their professor, ask your student, "What's your plan for talking to Professor Smith about your accommodation letter?" Sit with them while they explore a college's website and make a checklist of the documents they need. Your role now is to ask good questions, strategize, and cheer them on as they build the self advocacy muscle they need for college and for life. The transition to college is a big move, and the landscape looks different. The best way to prepare your incoming freshman is to get informed. I encourage you and your student to go online together and look at the Disability Services websites for a few colleges. You'll see their rules, their forms, and the types of accommodations they might offer. It takes the mystery out of it. If you found this video helpful, please share it with other parents. And for more tips, take a second to like this video and subscribe. By preparing your student for this new reality, you're giving them the skills for a successful life.